Good morning. The meeting is called to order. It is 9:31 a.m. That's what I have. In accordance with the Governor Baker's March 12th order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 20, the open meeting session portion of this meeting will be held remotely, and the members of the public will not be able to physically attend the meeting. It will subsequently be broadcast on youtube.com. Hopefully this is probably the last one that'll be like this. One other thing I'd like to mention is when emails are sent out to all, I know this isn't on the agenda, I just want to make mention, when they're sent out to all of us as a group, since we have new members, which I'll introduce in a moment, make sure when you reply, you only reply back to Dina or to Dan. Don't do a reply all, because that could be considered deliberating in a meeting, okay? So if Dina said, oh, there's something going on Webster Street or something like that, and you reply back to it, that could be considered, if you replied all, they consider that. So you could reply just back to Dina or Dan, so, okay? And I'd like to welcome, we have Danielle Clancy, thank you. Welcome to Danielle, and Brandon Griffin. And those are the two newly elected board members. Thank you for being here. It's hard to believe that I've only been here a year and I'm the senior member, right? So the first thing that we need to do is we need to have a motion to nominate somebody as chairman. So we have to have a chairman, a vice chairman, and a clerk. So are there any nominations for chairman?
I'll make that motion. I want to nominate Ms. Clancy.
And I will second that. Okay, so roll call vote. Brandon to
Yes.
nominate, yes. Dawn is yes, and Danielle?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so do I continue on, or do I hand the gavel over now? Or do I finish the board?
Honestly, I think it could go either way. I think the plan was to hand it off to whoever the appointed chair was. So if we want to pass it off to Danielle, I know she has
all the
the
stuff.
paperwork in front of her. So
Okay,
We're next looking for a motion for a vice chair at this point.
I'll
Brandon,
make that motion. Yeah, Don Varley.
and I'll second that motion. And we're looking for a vote.
Yes.
Brandon,
Yes.
I'll vote yes. And Dawn?
yes.
Okay, we have Dawn as a vice chair. Now we're looking for a motion for a clerk.
I'll motion Brandon Griffin.
Dawn motions Brandon, and I will second that. And we'll go for a vote. Dawn,
Yes.
and I'll vote yes. Brandon?
Yes.
Brandon, yes. Okay, and Brandon will be our clerk. Okay, now we're looking to approve the minute meetings from 4/27/21, the Board of Health meeting. I'm looking for a motion to approve the meetings from 4/27, the minutes.
I'll make the motion.
Dawn approves,
Second.
Dawn motion, Brandon seconds, and we're looking for a vote. Is there any discussion? We're looking for a vote. Dawn,
Yes.
Brandon,
Yes.
and I'm a yes on that also. And the acceptance of the health inspector's report and read file. Looking for a motion.
I'll make that motion.
Brandon, motion, second.
Dawn, second.
Dawn, and any discussion? And a vote? Dawn?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Brandon, yes. Dawn, yes. And I vote yes. Do I have a motion to accept the licenses as issued? Motion?
I'll make the motion.
Dawn will make the motion.
I'll second.
Brandon will second. Any discussion? And we'll have a vote. Brandon,
Yes.
Dawn,
Yes.
and I vote yes. A motion to rescind the vote by the previous board to grant signature authority to the administrative assistant. Brandon,
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Don made the motion, Brandon made the second, and discussion on this? I have a question about this. This was just approved at the last meeting, and Don, you voted in the positive for this.
So what happened in the meeting before this is I wanted to table this until our meeting because I felt that to set a policy at an outgoing board, I didn't think it was fair to the incoming board to make that decision. So I've done a little checking around. I've talked to a few other departments to see what they do, like the building inspectors department, how their administrative assistant handles signatory powers and things like that. And, you know, we do have a full-time, well, what they say, full-time, Dan Kelly's a full-time, he's here full-time, but Dan Kelly being a full-time health inspector, health agent director. So I don't see any reason to authorize signatory powers to the administrative assistants. It's not allowed in any other department. I was looking for that piece of paper. I got the paper from the accountant's office. I know that you got it as well, Deanne, because she had said that she gave it to you as to what, I mean, they can send money up and sign the warrants and things like that, but not as far as bills or payroll and things like that. Sometimes what Elaine used to do is she would sign, if there was nobody here, Elaine would sign the payroll and then they'd have to get an authorized signature if Dan was, say, on vacation when he got back, or I'm pretty much always in the building and accessible. So I don't see, and personally, I don't see a need for it. Other departments don't do it. It's not past practice. So that was my, my concern with that. I was just seeing about following, like I said, I didn't have time to research it before when it was brought up. So I've since researched it, and that's my feeling on that I think we should follow suit what other departments do. Now, there never used to be a full-time health inspector, so he was always a part-time position. So I think now that it's a full-time position, that even like Bob Curran, building department, he's only a part-time health inspector, and she still only has authority to sign over bills that come, monies that come in to send over to the collector's office.
So my concern is if Dan is away for an extended period.
Yep.
What happens then?
So I'm here. You can come in and sign. The building's
Okay.
gonna be open. Brandon can come in and sign.
So any of the board can sign in that?
Any of the board can sign, yeah.
Okay.
And I don't know if you need 2 signatures. Do you know?
You do, you need to, but I
Fine.
don't see that being an issue.
Okay.
Brendan, I think, had his hand up. I'm sorry, Brendan.
I just want to say, I agree with you. This in no way will affect Dan, correct? Directly.
It will no way affect what? I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
This will in no way affect Dan, correct?
And
No,
Dan, what's your feeling on this?
I think originally, it was more because we're going into that permitized, so Dina can sign license, because right now I have to be the one to sign license. I mean, I understand how other departments don't do it, but also they don't issue normally as many licenses we do, as far as like a $15 milk license. Personally, I don't have a problem with Dina signing things like that, but also we plan on now, I'm going to get a stamp of my signature just so she can sign things like milk license and things like that. So it should resolve the issue, I think.
Well, sorry.
No, go ahead, Don.
Well, I talked to, like I said, other departments too that do a lot of license. Building department does do a lot of licenses, building permits, and the Board of Selectmen, they issue lots of licenses, and none of them, like Lori has no authority to sign any of those licenses. It's the board members. We're the board. It should be our responsibility to make sure that things are, if Dan's not here, It's
Yeah.
not the responsibility of the administrative assistant to make sure things are signed and taken care of. We're an elected board to the people, so I'm not gonna say no more. That's how I feel. I've done my research and that's.
No, yeah.
My
I,
concern was that we are just not dependent on just one person. That was as long as the board can sign as well, then I'm fine. I just didn't want us to be dependent solely on one person in case we have an extenuating circumstance.
I agree.
All right, do we want to take a vote?
And the vote is to rescind, right?
The motion is to rescind the vote by previous board to grant signature authority to the administrative assistant.
I'm ready to vote, so
John,
yes.
Brandon,
Yes,
I vote yes also. All right. Motion to appoint Don Varley as burial agent and rabies agent for fiscal year 22, effective from July 1st, 2021 to June 30th, 2022.
I'll make that motion.
And I will second that motion. Vote, Brandon,
Yes,
Dawn,
Yes,
and I vote yes as well. Motion to appoint Jennifer Devosto as assistant burial agent from fiscal year 22, effective from July 1st, 2021 to June 30th, 2022. Motion,
I'll make the motion.
Brandon, I will second that motion.
can I
And
amend
Dawn?
that motion? Can I amend the motion to say to appoint Jennifer Devosto and Michael Ganshirt as assistant burial agent?
And Michael Ganshirt. And we're going to make a motion to amend the motion to appoint Jennifer Devosto and Michael Ganshirt as assistant burial agent for fiscal year 22, effective from July 1st, 2021 to June 30th, 2022. Motion to amend the motion. Brandon,
I'll second. Yep.
second. Vote. Dawn,
Yes,
Brandon,
Yes,
and I'm a yes as well. And do we now need to vote on the motion? Since we just
Yes.
voted on the amendment? Okay.
Yeah.
So a motion to appoint Jennifer Devosto and Michael Ganshirt as assistant burial agent for fiscal year 22, effective from July 1st, 2021 to June 30th, 2022. Motion,
you call roll call?
oh, roll call. Dawn,
Yes,
Brandon,
yes,
and I am a yes as well. Thank you. Motion to appoint Dan Kelly as health inspector, milk inspector, special police officer to be appointed by Board of
Selectmen, that should be.
Selectmen, thank you, and South Shore Recycling Cooperative Board of Health representative to be appointed by Board of Selectmen for fiscal year 22, effective from July 1st, 2021 to June 30th, 2022. Animal inspectors will not need to be reappointed until April 2022. Motion,
make the motion.
Brandon,
I'll second.
Don will second. Any discussion? Vote. Don,
Yes,
Brandon,
Yes,
and I'm a yes as well. Motion to appoint Barbara White as Assistant Health Inspector for fiscal year 22, effective from July 1st, 2021 to June 30th, 2022. Animal inspector will not be needed to be replaced by Dan Kelly.
I'll make the motion.
Brandon will make the motion. Don will second the motion. Vote. Don?
I just have a quick question. What does it mean that animal inspector will not be needed as replaced by Dan Kelly?
She is no longer gonna do any of the rabies stuff because I'm taking that over from her. Because Barbara White was the main person who used to do anything to do with rabies. Joe Kenny and Laura Howard also do some of the cases, but normally it would be Joe and he would do stuff if there was pretty severe, like dog bites.
Yeah,
But other than that, Barbara White would do everything and she would be paid separately for that. But now I'm just gonna take those over as a part of my job. So that's what that is.
okay. Now, my quick question, why wouldn't we have somebody on the board now be an assistant animal inspector?
Well, she's the assistant health inspector, not animal.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we wouldn't have anybody on the board be the assistant health inspector? No. I don't know how.
So the thing is with that, Barbara White has a bunch of different certifications that no one on the board currently has. And also it's more of if I'm out for a day or two and something comes up that she would need those, like to go look at something like a dismantling, she knows how to do that. So
Okay, all right, just asking.
no, yeah, absolutely. I understand.
Okay, I'll make the motion and we already motioned in second. Now we're discussing. Sorry about that.
That's okay. And a vote? Dawn,
Yes,
Brandon,
Yes,
and I'm a yes as well. And discuss the Recreation Department request regarding policies to open pool and park following new guidelines.
If you want, I can give you guys a little snippet about that.
That'd be great.
So basically, earlier on in the year, I don't know if it was last board meeting or 2 board meetings ago, but we voted to have the pool open for park program and swim lessons, which obviously now things have changed. And I've had some brief conversation with the rec department, and they would like to open the pool up for the general public in the afternoons. I personally think it's a great idea. We have ever-changing guidelines right now. Things are trending in the right direction. Obviously, it's a decision that you guys can make, but I think we should definitely let them allow the public into the pool. I don't know how everyone else feels, but I think since things have changed, it changes the situation.
Discussion? Brandon?
is there a planned start date for that, Dan? Like an exact or?
There's not an exact date yet. Can definitely get that afterwards and let you guys know. I'm sure it will probably be in about a month or so, but I
Okay.
can't give you an exact date.
And do you know
Fair
the
enough.
limit of the number of people they can have in the pool at a time?
So now with the updated guidelines, it's really just back to like full capacity. Obviously,
Which is,
their pool, I want to say it's like 140 people. I'm not exactly sure on that, but that's also, I'm not sure that's for just the pool. I think it's for the whole area. So
Okay.
obviously some people would not be swimming. I can get more information on that though. I think if we're going to allow the town and say youth sports to be able to do what the state guidelines are. Well, my feeling is we're following the state guidelines right now for everything. So I feel like the pool should probably fall in place with that.
I tend to agree with that we should follow the state guidelines on recreation. I think to write our own guidelines is going to be.
I mean, we always have the ability
Really?
to go back on a later date and give them different guidance if we feel that's necessary. But right now, I think this is our first week in the green, as far as I'm aware, like ever. More and more people are getting vaccinated, which is great. And I think people will still take the necessary precautions. So, and they'll obviously keep a track of how many people are going in and for contact tracing and things like that.
Brandon?
I would say as long as we continue going in the right direction, honestly, I don't see an issue with it at all. If there's a spike, hopefully we're done with this basically soon. Obviously we can revisit it, but I'm okay with it looking at the rate of declining cases, etc. So if it's the end of June, I don't see a problem at all.
And I don't have a problem either, so.
I don't either. I think the only thing I might ask is that they do keep track of who's there.
Yeah, and they are, when I talked to them, I told them that they would still have to do things like contact tracing. So that's been a big question up in there for just everybody with all the mandates being lifted. But contact tracing is still very much going to be an important role that mostly our public health nurses do for us, and they're great at it. And that's not going to go away.
I think especially in the pool where it's going to be harder to keep kids, socially distant at all.
Yeah.
If we can just run a list of who's there and what times, then,
Yeah.
If we do end up having to contact trace, we have something to go by.
Okay.
Okay. So do we have a motion to, we don't have a motion. Do we want
I'm
a,
not sure it's something we necessarily need to vote on. We can if people would like. It's more of a recommendation than anything, so they know. But if we would like to make a vote to we could say to allow the general public into the pool, we can do that. It depends how you all feel about it.
do you all feel we need a motion, or are we just in agreement to follow state guidelines?
Can I ask you, Dawn?
I will also defer to you on this.
I don't think a motion hurts because a lot of times boards rely on our vote and they fall back on our vote. It can't hurt either way, especially where we're granting them. If we were denying them, I think it would be more of a problem.
Okay.
It might be, Dina just told me that it's a recommendation a recommendation for a motion to approve to the Board of a recommendation to the Board of Selectmen to allow the general public into the pool. Because I guess they must have final decision on what happens at the pool, considering it's the rec department, obviously. So maybe we can just have a motion to recommend the pool be open to the general public,
Sure.
if that works for everybody.
Yeah, that
Okay.
works.
So we're making a motion to recommend to the Board of Selectmen to open the pool to the general public
And in accordance, I would say in accordance with the
in
CDC.
accordance with state guidelines.
Yeah.
Okay,
I will make the motion to recommend.
And I will second.
okay, roll call. Dawn,
Yes.
Brandon,
Yes,
and I'm a yes as well. Okay, next up is discuss the drive-through rabies clinic scheduled for June 23rd, 2021. With any updates or questions?
No real updates. We're scheduled to go drive to June 23rd from 10 to 12.
Yeah.
Anyone has any questions, we can answer them.
So Dina just let me know that everything's scheduled and good to go 10 to 12. Obviously, we would have loved to do it on the weekend, as I think everyone here knows, but it just wasn't an option for us this year. Hopefully next year we'll be back to being able to do it on a Saturday or Sunday. But we're all scheduled and good to go. We've talked to the DPW. They know we'll be there. And also the animal hospital knows that our plan is for a drive-through. They have no issues with it. So I think it should go smoothly.
Any questions?
No.
I would like to say
No
as a board,
questions.
we're very grateful to everyone that is volunteering for this event. It helps a lot of people out.
absolutely. That's pricey, isn't it?
Well, their shot, if they come to the drive-through, will only be $10 per animal, but otherwise I think it can be around 100. I know Danielle and Don both definitely have a lot of experience with that. So
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah, it
Yep.
helps a lot of people out. And it's the only shot that people are mandated to have for their animals.
They do more than just dogs as well, and they do other towns. That's the other
Right.
thing too. Other towns can come in, and as well as Whitman residents can use other towns.
yes, they can.
Right. So I don't know, have we gotten that out to other towns that we're doing it, or?
It's been posted in different places. Have we?
Yeah, the Whitman Express
Yeah.
is gonna be having it.
The Whitman Hanson Express, it will be in the paper in the upcoming weeks, so.
Excellent,
On
Yeah.
cable access television.
excellent.
I think it's on, if you go on, there used to be a website you could go to under the Department of Public Health. And they had a list of all the towns that were doing it and you could click to see. I don't know who gave them that information, if it's something that we gave to them, but they had a whole compiled list of what
Yeah,
towns were doing it and you can just click on it.
okay.
And the next item, is we're done with that, is to discuss the town hall opening to the public depending on vaccination rate and to review current rates if at 50% vote to recommend or not recommend.
I don't
Dan?
know that we need to have a motion on this, considering I think everyone knows the town hall will be opening on June 1st for the public following state guidelines. So if we want to have a motion just to say that we agree with that, we can. Otherwise, I'm not sure we need to make a vote.
So does that mean all the doors are going to be open? Or is it
As far
still
as
by
I'm aware,
appointment?
as far as I'm aware, all the doors will be open. It'll be open back in full circle. I think Dawn
Okay.
has something she might want to add.
Don?
Yeah, well, I work in here every day. I do have a few concerns. I've talked to other towns prior to this, and a lot of them had like sanitizing stations in place. You know, as far as people being vaccinated, you know, obviously, you know, you can't ask that information. And, you know, to ensure that I mean, I think when the board made their vote, they basically just said open town hall. They didn't say they had no restrictions to that at all, basically just open up. My concern is the safety of the people inside and the customers. You have one customer come and then they leave and the next customer comes in. I mean, COVID, you know, it is still there. It's not, you know, there's more people are vaccinated and, but there are people that aren't for whatever reason. That's their business. I can assure you that my office will take precautions. I was just hoping that maybe every floor, every door or something like that, open, you know, just the handicapped in the front doors. I'm not really sure how to make the Board of Selectmen do anything. But I think there should be, I'm gonna actually do it myself. I'm gonna set up a table outside, like a sanitize, and I'm gonna tell people, I'm gonna put a notice on it and, you know, before you step up to the clerk's office, please use sanitizer. If they don't do it, I'm gonna do it. And I think we should, as a board, support stuff like that. Cause I know we all have windows, the spit shields and stuff like that, but there's still papers and things being handed back, money, credit cards, checks, whatever the case may be. I just think you know, just to jump right into the deep end without learning how to swim first is kind of dangerous.
Yeah.
I think you need a few lifeguards, and those lifeguards would be sanitizer stations or.
Yeah, I think maybe personally, obviously, just my recommendation maybe to, in the motion, I think obviously it's time that the town hall opens up. I think everyone
Yeah,
agrees with that, but I think obviously with some precautions, and I think recommending that there's either maybe not every single door is open, maybe 2 or 3, and at each door there's some hand sanitizer so people can use it when they come in.
They actually installed it to the wall by the door, so it's an automatic hand sanitizer.
I really feel that the town hall and all the town buildings, especially the library, the council on aging and us should really purchase some hands-free hand sanitizer stations. You know, the one you stick your hand under and out it comes. And be sure they're kept filled. I don't like the ones where we pump and have to touch. To me, that kind of is defeating the purpose. People don't like to touch them and don't use them as often. I think if you just stick your hand under, it comes out as you walk by. People are much more apt to use them.
It's already-
You-
I'm in full agreement with you, Danielle.
I don't think
So
it'd be a bad purchase for the town
Yeah.
to purchase some of these.
Dean is telling me, I didn't even notice it when I came in, but I guess by the side ramp, the handicap ramp, there's already one there. I didn't realize that there's a hands-free one. It's right in the wall, so that's obviously.
There's one upstairs too, but it's like, It's it's like against the wall. It's not, doesn't stick out. So that's what I
Right.
said.
But you know, the big ones that are kind of freestanding
Yeah.
Yeah,
that you can't miss, some of those,
Not
my
mounted.
only,
Oh, yeah.
right,
Yeah.
or else signage for the ones we have.
I was gonna say, I don't know if, since they already have some installed to the wall, they might not wanna be willing to
Right.
spend the money on those, which is,
We can put signs next to them.
yeah, we can make signs up at the Board of Health could. It wouldn't be,
Right.
something that'd be difficult to do. Myself and Dina could get that done,
Right,
just to try to make them stick out, put it on like bright orange paper or something like that.
right. But I think people, the pumps like we had at the store, people aren't gonna use them. You know, you have to touch them and,
I think a lot of it is gonna be each individual department taking some responsibility. Like Don said, I know down here we'll just be making sure as people come and go, we're cleaning up and just wiping down tables afterwards. Cause like Don said, she's definitely correct on saying COVID's not just magically gone because the building's opening up. So I think everyone just has to do their part, because I think it's impossible to try to make one person be
Right.
responsible for everything.
absolutely great. But like one of the freestanding ones, I wouldn't mind seeing one right in the middle of that aisle
Yeah.
leading up to Dawn's office, that whole aisle right there, because they have all those
Yeah,
windows.
they're very busy up there.
Mhm, mhm.
How do we go about getting one of those, Dan? Should I contact the town administrator or?
I'm not exactly sure who we'd reach out to. I feel like it would probably be maybe Lincoln we would want to talk to about it, see if that would be something that's possible. I know I looked at some of them before just to get a cost estimate on them. They're about $100. So
I think
Yeah.
we should have one on each floor, right in the middle of the lobby of each floor, not
Yeah.
against the wall. I think against the wall, like you said, how many times have you walked in this building and you didn't even know that one was there? So.
Yeah. that could be something we could recommend then, to maybe get a couple of those.
For $100, that's,
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and I
Yeah,
think the
I-
library and council on aging would do well to have some too.
yeah, in the library, I agree. Especially get kids in the library,
Yeah.
children.
Okay, so I'm not sure we even need a motion on this since the town hall's opening. Anyway,
Are you gonna find out about that, Dan, as far as maybe some freestanding?
Yeah, I can definitely put out a feeler and see if that's something that's possible.
Okay.
I think that's a good idea.
So I don't
we
think
agree with not needing a motion on this.
they're opening anyway, so it doesn't.
Yeah,
matter.
it's beyond us.
Do we have to rescind our other vote though, because we had no?
I don't think so. We're gonna be at 50% by the town hall opens anyway, so
Okay,
kind of the same thing.
I think if you take out the ages that they can't vaccinate now anyway, we're over 50%.
We're over
That
50.
includes the ages that are unable to be vaccinated, like the 12 and under or the 15 and under or whatever.
Yeah,
So
correct.
if you take that group out, we are over 50%.
good,
So,
excellent.
and we need to discuss our next meeting.
Yep. I think Don kind of hinted at it in the very beginning about possibly not being on Zoom. I know personally, I would like to be able to meet in person. I think that would be great. I think obviously sooner than later, we're going to have to meet in person. I think we could probably squeak one more meeting out on Zoom if that's what the board wished to do. But if the board would rather meet in person, that's something that we could definitely make happen now.
I'm available whenever, so whatever you decide, with the pleasure of the
Yeah.
board, I'm all set with.
I'm
Okay.
also very flexible.
I don't
Brandon,
know
how about you?
I'm on board with an in-person as long as there's no catastrophe in the interim. I'll defer to Danielle. She's the medical professional.
Yeah, right.
So are you
Don,
available
yeah,
in the
yeah.
morning in person, Brandon?
Sure.
You are?
Yep.
So does 9:30 on June 22nd work for everybody?
Yes.
that would work.
Hang on 2 seconds. Should I get July? Yeah, fine.
So our next meeting, if nothing, nothing prompts us to meet sooner, will be June 22nd, Tuesday at 9:30 a.m.
Sounds great.
Make the motion?
Second,
And roll, Don,
Yes.
Brandon,
yes,
and I'm a yes also. And I need a motion to adjourn
I'll make the motion.
at 10:05. Don
second,
made the motion, Brandon second the motion, and roll call, Don,
Yes.
Brandon,
yes.
and Danielle, yes.
Thank you, Danielle, for being the chair.
Thank you.
And thank
Thank
you,
you,
Brandon.
everyone.
Thank you for being.
Thank you, everybody.